Luna babies, how are you doing, Cancer? Welcome to your reading for December 2020, general reading for the sign of Cancer. Let's see what we've got for you for December 2020, Sun, Moon, Rising and Ascending. And as I always say, if there's any communication problems, look at your Mercury. If there's any love concerns, look at your Venus. If you don't know what those things are, look down below in the description. There's a link that says free natal chart. You can get it over there. There's also a link to subscribe to my newsletter if you want to know, when I do have availability for readings, because I don't have as much as I had before. And you can also find a link for my best friend's business, AC Digital Marketing Solutions. She does all my graphic design and social media management as well. Okay. Right, so let's see what we have. For all of you always supporting Cancer, thank you so much, fellow Cancerians, thank you. And there's my cat making a fuss. Let's see if he's going to come in or what he's going to do. Well, if he's going to come in, I need to open the door. What I mean is I want to see if he's going to keep on doing that or not. If you're new to the channel, my name is Adrian. Welcome. I'm intuitive healer, I practice holistic wellness, and I'm also a spiritual regression hypnosis practitioner. So this reading, we kind of going to look for the overall energy, in your journey from 3D to 5D. So sort of those things that are not sitting so well with you towards those things that are actually serving you better, which is 5D, in the ascension. So we can look at sort of like your 3D, what you work towards, what you work from already, what you grew from already, what you expanded from already, which in sometimes like in other readings, sometimes we also record like the recent past to like 5D. What are the sort of higher serving things that you already sort of reach, and then sort of in the middle year, so where you are also heading, obviously, or what's coming towards you, and then in the middle, sort of like the 4D. What are the things that are keeping you stuck? Okay, what are the areas that you want to actually sort of pay attention to? All right, so I stopped shuffling because I just wanted to sort of let you understand exactly what the reading is all about. Okay, so in the recent past, the first card that came out there was the Empress. So those were dreams, those were, sort of heart's desires that you sort of wanted to have come true. Okay. So that one fell out. I'm going to take the one that came out. 9 of Cups. Oh, what is going on? You'll see that. Okay, let me just put them back because these are too many cards. I keep on seeing this High Priestess. Let's see. So in the recent past, there's the what is this? There's too many cards. Oh, this one's falling out. Okay, Justice. And also many falling out, but the top one is the Ace of Cups. So those are the cards that I want to take for you. A little bit of sort of like an indecisiveness happening for you. So what I can see, and it's like my energy is going like bzzing. So let's first look at I want to show you the sort of like the 3D, the recent past, and then I'm going to show you the cards for like where you're going towards. But here in the middle, where you are at the moment, I don't know, it's like the cement in the foundation is not quite set yet. There's a little bit of a sense of uncertainty still happening here, but flippity-floppity, okay? So you've got the Empress and the 9 of Cups. Some of you took really big chances, good chances though. And then Justice and Ace of Cups is where you're going forward. All right, I can see what's happening over here. All right, so for many of you, there were really big sort of dreams and aspirations and visions and things that you had, and a lot of what you may have thought may not happen. I wouldn't necessarily say that you gave up hope, but it's for many of you, you just sort of started to make peace with the idea that this is probably never going to happen. Okay. And that, of course, took you into that surrender space. And it's almost like, if you want to think of almost like in a universal sense, obviously with the moon being our you know, sort of like almost like motherly sort of energy, you know, universal sort of motherly sort of energy, divine sort of feminine, but more like in the mothering sense, where the sun, on the other hand, which is a more Leo sort of energy, is sort of more like a cosmic sort of father, you know. So it's like the moon sort of kind of, you know, in that motherly sense came in there, and you know, the way that, you know, in a very positive way, mom can sometimes sort of, you know, move the chips for you a little bit, like do a little bit of intervention there. So there's been some divine intervention that took place there for you. For a lot of you, there's been a lot of moving forward, sudden moving forward, in fact, and it's like a great invitation that came about for you, you know, and it could be things that you might have said no to, you know, but then I felt that you gave it a chance. You know, you sort of put yourself out there, you put your heart out there, you put your emotions out there. Many of you gave yourself a real honest chance over here, putting those emotions out over there, which might have been a very happy thing to do and a very fulfilling thing to do, but also sort of stressful. You know, a lot of sort of like your triggers were hit over there. A lot of, for you, you know, for many of you, your sort of triggers with abundance and with money and the sense of deservancy and value and worth and those type of things, you know. So it's like there were two things happening over here. Wonderful, beautiful expansion. There were definitely some, you know, some hectic sort of teething problems over here. I feel that for many of you, it took a lot of bravery. So you're in that sense of going forward and giving yourself that chance and be happy and anticipating, you know, and those type of things, you know, wonderful. But in the same token, there was also like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? You know? So there was that. In a sense, it was. It's almost like for many of you, things were very, very, very contrived, but on the other end, it wasn't contrived at all. So it's like what's happening over here, or what happened over there, is that when we have that, you know, when we move sort of from a very sort of habitual sort of way of being, and you know, believing, because whatever we believe is obviously our expression of life, to a very different sort of way. So you get this major invitation, and then you go for it, but it's also very overwhelming. You know, it's like Cinderella, basically. You know, when the moment when everything just sort of works out, that you know, that sort of inner self-sabotage basically comes out, you know. It's like, oh my goodness, it's 12 o'clock, I need to go, you know, the sort of you know, the spell is worn off and I need to run, and like, oh my goodness, I just need to come out of here. All right, so very frizzled, and then where you're going towards, the wonderful thing is you're sort of getting that balance, because for many, I'm going to do your cards for your current energy right now, because that's the 4D energy. So that's where you sort of came from, which is a wonderful part to come from, even though I feel that some of you had pure stomach cramps, had difficulty speaking sometimes. But you're really getting a very firm grasp on things, a really good balance on things. Yeah, which is actually quite wonderful, you know. A very good relationship with sort of like your strengths and your, you know, your weaknesses. And also what I like, you know, when I say weakness, I mean the areas that you're not so, you know, naturally gifted at. And instead of trying to be sort of like this jack of all trades and, you know, like the master of everything, many of you are getting to a position, so there's probably some beautiful divine intervention that takes place here. You get into a position where, like, these are my strengths, these are the things that I do well, and you're getting to do what you do well. And all the other things that you're not doing well, that are not sort of your strengths, the help for that is actually coming about. Without, you know, we'll see how that is actually happening. And there's a great sense of you coming about there with the Ace of Cups, which obviously makes you highly attractive, because Ace of Cups is one of those energies where you shine so brightly from your heart space that you naturally affect everybody around you in a positive way. With, you know, you walking down the street and people's knees are going like, oh my goodness, have you seen that, right? So let's look at where you currently are. let's look at your current energy. So the 4D energy, what are the areas that you want to focus on? What are the things that you want to focus on right now? You know, the things that are holding you back. Okay, so we've got the 10 of Swords, we've got the King of Pentacles, all right. Okay, there's too many cards. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Celebrating yourself, something that's definitely coming out here. Some of you, you find it challenging to be successful, you know. So what's all coming out here? Okay. The Chariot, the King of Wands, lovely. I had a very similar pattern when I was doing the reading for Pisces, with a King of Pentacles and a King of Wands. Yeah, am I right? Yeah. Where it wasn't the same, it was a different deck, but the same kind of thing came out. Oh my goodness, look at this. All right, so let me just show you the cards and then I'm going to do you the reading. So we've got the 10 of Swords came out first. That was followed by the King of Pentacles. I'm just going to open for Leah. Hello? Are you coming inside? Are you coming? Hey, come on. Hello. Let's show you. Show everybody, this is my beautiful baby. This is Leo. Okay. Who runs my life. And now I've got cat hair all over my face. Sorry about that. So I've shown you the 10 of Swords. I've shown you the King of Pentacles. And then you got the Chariot, which is followed by the King of Wands, the Moon, and the Magician. So there's some ties that are being cut here for you. Some of you were there was too much, almost like a liberal sort of spending of money here. You know, it's like you get it and you give it away sort of thing. For many of you, you sort of had a pattern of like maybe like, you know, buying people. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you try to control them, but it's like maybe you wanted what was best for them. But for many of you, you forgot yourself in the process. So you're doing well from very good intentions. You're doing well and you want everybody else to do well as well. And then so you try to support them in doing well, you know. But then that in itself then sometimes, you know, takes you out of the sort of like the vibration with abundance, because you're getting, and for many of you, you're not using, you know, and not just money, the resources, the time, the energy, you know, that you're having. You're not really using it for many of the things that you said you would use it for when you got it. So you manifested with a particular intention, and now you're getting what you manifested. But now that you have what you manifested, or, you know, you receive what you manifested, you know, you sort of started to like use it in different ways. And so that was a pattern that you know, that I feel for some of you, you realize that, listen, you know, like some of you were going and they're like, I just want to help everybody, you know, and you realize that, oh, maybe I can find different ways of doing that, but you got to help yourself. And so there's that wisdom that started to come about. And there's a lot of wonderful things coming your way, really, you know, a lot of wonderful sort of offers of stability. There's quite a moving forward here. For those of you especially that are interested in love, beautiful stability coming there, love, relationships, repairing situations. And I feel that for many of you, especially those of you that were single for a while, you know, maybe sort of dealing with a sort of like a Virgo sort of energy over there, you know, for whichever reason, that you realize that in many, many, many ways, you were some of you were holding on to sort of like almost like a smokescreen, you know. and so the same sort of realization that you're getting with sort of like the money and like promotions, be it at work or job, your own business or whatever, all these wonderful things in your own personal life, the materialistic things that are expanding. For many of you, as you are where you are right now, as you realize you got yourself into some jams or some sticky spots or heading for the same sort of negative pattern that you might have been at before, as you're letting that go, because you're sort of seeing the warning signs, of you going towards the same direction where you've been before. So I feel for many of you, there's sort of a repeating pattern over here, which starts very, very positively. And then it starts heading in the negative direction. So for many of you, you may have been at a place before where things were really, really prosperous, but, sort of beliefs within yourself that you had that weren't serving you well sort of boomerang that for you. That is that also that self-sabotage that we were speaking about, that sort of almost, you get anxiety, but then that downright sort of almost like fainting sort of panic, that can take us into directions that really don't work for us. So there was that happening there as well. And so you are healing from that pattern and then moving forward, but then also moving forward with your heart. But then for many of you are realizing that you are doing the same thing when it comes to love, when it comes to relationships, and not necessarily only romantic relationships, but relationships with others. Maybe you have a plant and the plant just dies, like, oh my goodness, I don't have green fingers. But I mean, the simple reality of things are that if one person can make a plant grow, that you can also make it grow, If one person can make a relationship work, then you can also make a relationship work. But it's the energy that you are coming from. And so many of you, I'm going to be very careful with my words here because I don't want to offend anybody. Okay. But for many of you, and I want to draw a card for that because I don't have the clarity on it yet. Sorry. So either you can have strong Virgo in your chart, or maybe you've got a strong relation with a Virgo. Okay. There's something. It's somehow like the two of you had some sort of codependent thing going on here. All right. It could also be what sort of like a darker part within yourself. Okay. Now, before I say that, I'm first going to draw another card because I just want to check that. It's actually quite interesting because it goes forward quite beautifully. There we go. Oh, okay. Okay. The reason why I had to check another card is, okay, hold on. Because the Magician was there, which actually suggested that whatever's happening here with you all, it's heading in a good direction. But it had me a little confused. So we had the Seven of Swords, the Page of Cups, which in this particular deck, the Light Seer's Tarot, I really like this this card, probably the most in the deck. It's so cute. Then you've got the Fool, the Ten of Wheels, and at the top of the deck, there was the Star. Let's see what's in the bottom. Ten of Cups, oh my. All right, so there was, this was not just you, this was not just the other person. The two of you were playing, I feel quite subconsciously maybe, a bit of a game here together, where in a sense, you were sort of supporting each other's patterns. But I do, this might have, I sense that it might have been very necessary at the time. Maybe, neither of you was sort of ready to go towards that next phase. All right. But whatever you started here in the recent past, the sort of 3D energy, the things that you wanted to break away from. Now, you may not have thought of this at that sense, but I feel that somehow, not just yourself, but both of you, in a way, sort of realize that things have reached a point where they couldn't really be sort of denied any longer. Could also be a Scorpio energy, possibly. But you know, sometimes when we have sort of like a energetic connection with somebody, then, you know, especially if it's a very sort of strong attraction, twin flame sort of vibe, then, you know, somebody can step away and, you know, you break my heart, I break your heart, that type of stuff. But I feel this thing sort of sneaking up here on the two of you that, you know, and this could also explain a lot of confusion, that the confusion that you have at the moment, because you started whatever you started in the recent past, that sort of trippy sort of energy, that you know, the invitation that came out and you gave yourself the chance, your motivation for many of you, not necessarily all of you, for many of you, it was this the sort of person, this possibility of what you could have together, and somehow you needed to do something about it, and you attracted this wonderful opportunity to you so that you could do something about it. And one of the main reasons why you were so motivated is because this is what was necessary, you know, from you, from the strong call, to get this thing to go. And, you know, I feel a very strong Virgo energy here. Maybe a Virgo with a very strong Libra in the chart, possibly. Libra energy in the chart, but this person is basically madly in love with you. And, you know, it's interesting because this might have been a situation where they might have said many things, you know, I'm not really ready, and I'm really, you know, I just want to be friends, or they're ghosting you, but the feelings can't really be denied any longer. And there's a beautiful, you are a very unlikely sort of couple, you know. Let's see what we've got for you from the universe. Let's see what we've got for you from the universe. The best is definitely yet to come here. Okay. 3 of Wands. Aligning with the energy of abundance. Oh. 3 of Wands. 2 of Swords in reverse. There's a card here that's turned over. Oh, and it's my favorite card in the deck. It's getting all my favorite cards in the deck today. So it's the 3 of Wands, the 2 of Swords, the King of Swords in reverse, and the Knight of Cups. So some of you are feeling stuck and you feel there's something that you need to do. There's nothing you need to do. Just keep on going the way that you're going. Things are, there's beautiful divine sort of blessings coming your way. Things working out in ways that you, in your wildest dreams, can't even possibly imagine. You're heading on a very positive path here. Wonderful. Okay, so just going to finish off for you with an oracle card from this beautiful deck that I got from my sister, who's actually a Virgo. And if that reading resonates with you, you're more than welcome to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Remember, if you subscribe, to hit that notification bell, and there's a card that's flying out. Begin now. Take the first step. So maybe you're sort of waiting on each other. I'm waiting on you, you're waiting on me. Take that first step. I'm going to draw you, I say 2 more cards. Okay, interesting. One from the bottom, one from the top. What's at the bottom? Miracles. Expect the wondrous to emerge. And what do we have? Choosing your path. All is possible where you are right now. And so it is. All right. Thanks so much for your time, energy, love, and light. See you next time, Cancer. Bye.